Hello, guys, and thank you for joining me today in this lesson of New York, New York by Frank Sinatra. First thing first, I'm gonna play the song at a slower tempo for you. The original tempo is 109 BPM, sort of, and I'm gonna play it at 65, okay? Now, this was the slow down performance, okay? Now, I'm gonna go through all the arrangement and point out several different things that I think are very important when practicing this song. First thing first, the most important thing of all, the groove, okay? The main groove. This main idea here. You want to focus on the groove at first, because that is the core of every song, okay? So, how can you do it? Well, a very good idea actually when practicing, even when I practice my own arrangements, I like to play them along the original track. Like for instance, I have here the original track. course, I don't need to play all the song, but just to give you an idea, even if you're not confident enough with the arrangement, because maybe you just started practicing, just maybe play the chords. That's actually a good idea. So forget about the melody and the cool phrases and whatnot. Just focus on the chords, and with those, try to get the right feel and the right groove by playing along the original tracks, because that helps you stay on track, stay on the same page. Okay, so definitely do that. It's very important. When you get confident enough with the groove, then you can start looking in depth into several different details. Okay, for example, the first part, the intro, it's repeated twice. First time is very open. Okay, the second time instead, and then there's this cool phrase here. Second time instead is just quieter. Why? Well, if you listen to the original arrangement, you will notice that first time is just like super open. Second time, the arrangement it takes like a step back, okay? And so I wanted to replicate the same thing. And how can I do it? Well, of course with dynamics, but especially with palm muting. Then another thing to notice here is this cool phrase. I think this it's the brass section or the string section, probably the brass section, plays this cool phrase. So I wanted to keep it because it's very good, and I came up with this idea. Of course, it's not the most comfortable position, but to make it sound like close to the original one, that was necessary. Okay, cool. So after that, there's the main theme, of course. Okay. Here there's a very important thing to point out, and it's the fact that in every song, basically, there are at least 3 layers. Sometimes there are more, but at least 3 layers. There's the melody, of course, which is here on top. It's the most important part of the song. It's the most important part of the arrangement. It has to be here on top. It's the queen of the arrangement, okay? Right in your face. So you want to play it loud. Of course, without breaking the guitar, but as loud as possible, okay? Then, in order of importance, there's the bass. The bass is very, very important. Why? Because it's the foundation of the song. Tom Emanuel uses this word, boom, boom, and it gives the idea, okay? It's very important to get a tight bass line, because it literally supports all the song. So definitely very important thing. But in the middle, between the melody, stays out right on top, and the bass, which is the foundation, in the middle there are all the other parts, like counter melodies, chords, you name it, okay? All the parts that build the harmony component, if it makes sense. And you have to play those parts here just a step down, because you don't want to get the audience confused. If you play everything at the same volume, the audience, people who listen, they don't understand what is the melody and what is everything else. In, regular arrangements, it's pretty easy because the melody, guess what? It's played by the human voice. There's a singer who sings the melody, right? And everything else, brass section, string section, drums, guitar, bass, whatever, it's completely different. It has a completely different sound. On the guitar instead, we are not that lucky. We have just the guitar, and the guitar sounds the same. So we have to find clever ways to separate those layers and to make people want to listen to the melody, and everything else is just a side dish. Okay, the melody is the main dish. So to do that, there are a couple ways. First thing you want to do is to play the parts in the middle just quieter. Okay, check this out. Melody. Melody. This phrase here is very good actually, but it's not part of the melody. So, okay, definitely in everything you play, just put the melody right on top and everything else just below. Okay, that's very important. Then moving on. Second time. Okay. At this point in the original arrangement, there's a crescendo. It's when it says like, I want to be. Okay. So I wanted to replicate this crescendo on the guitar. So I took a break from the, alternated bass and played this staccato here. Okay. To practice this, you have to make sure that you're muting all the strings. Like, I play all the strings, but the sixth is muted, the third is muted, and the first string is muted as well. So when I play all the strings, the only strings that ring are the fifth, the fourth, and the second. You don't want to play like this. That's awful, okay? So just practice, and you have to do it with your left hand, by the way. Here my middle finger is muting the sixth string, and my index finger is laid down on the strings that mutes the other strings below. Okay, so just practice it. At first it's not so easy, I know, but it's not impossible. Okay, moving on. Okay, here there's a very important thing to notice. Because I played the melody with my thumb pick. And that's very useful, especially when the melody is on the second or the fourth beat, like here. Okay, it's very useful because it's convenient. You just need to push the thumb a little bit farther, and the melody, it's right there. And then phrase here, okay? This part is not in the original arrangement at all. I just, came up with this slide, and I thought, well, why not? Just be creative. If you want to add some chords or some different parts, go ahead and do it, you know? It's so good. We're not playing classical music, okay? It's not Mozart or, you know, nobody's gonna kill you if you change a note here and there. Just do it. So, it's pretty simple. I play all the strings. But since it's not part of the melody, again, it's a bit, you know, soft. And those are triplets, so ta-pa, ta-ta-pa, ta-ta-pa, ta-ta. Then melody again. Oh, so, okay. Here, I did this thing. It's called rasgado. It's a flamenco technique. It's basically playing, strumming the guitar with your finger, but very fast. And I use it to express, to convey an accent. Okay, and sometimes I do it here as well. It's a very good trick. You can practice it very slowly, of course, at first. And, you know, take some time, but definitely worth it. So after that, okay, same thing here. I play the melody with my thumb. Okay, I reach the second string. Okay. Here, there's this grace note. Nice thing to do, especially with chords. It's not so common, but chromatic approach. So good. Again, main theme. This is a cool trick, especially if you play a soft passage afterwards, like this one. So the aim here is to create surprise, okay? And then okay, just beware that this passage here is tricky. This grace note here is not simple, just, you know, need some practice. So this phrase here, it's very important, very nice. This is like a banjo run. Those are phrases that come from the banjo. So the important thing to know here is that you have 4 ingredients. You have the thumb, finger, open strings, and legato, like pull off and hammer on. And you always have to mix them together, mix them up, to blend the ingredients to get a good phrase. You never want to play 2 times in a row or 2 open strings. Yeah, you can do that. You can even play 2 fingers. Actually, what I'm doing here is so thumb, hammer on, finger, thumb, hammer on, finger, pull off. Then thumb, open string, index finger, thumb, open string, finger, and thumb. So you always want to alternate these ingredients mix them together. Never play 2 thumbs in a row, 2 open strings in a row, 2 fingers like this one. It's not ideal. Try always to alternate, and of course, notes must ring together, okay? Don't, it doesn't work like that, okay? You have to let them resonate as much as possible, okay? So yeah, this was all I had to say for today. I hope you make good use of my advice. Have fun practicing this song. Let me know if everything's okay. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because there are many free lessons coming up over the next months. So be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!